back to the CPS reports, and we are back with another fight preview of one fight night 22 Sundell versus Diachkova on Prime Video this Saturday, 4th of May at 2 a.m. South African time. And that will be live on YouTube, and you can also catch and buy yourself a nice ticket on the One Championship website. Pay-per-view, which I'm not mistaken, goes for about 57 Rand. So South Africans, it's actually very, very cheap for us to pay for the pay-per-views of the One Championship. So please, if you want to catch out some of these fights, please do. And you'll catch them live from 2 a.m. Now, I know some of us like to, sleep in on our weekends. I mean, it is early hours of the morning on Saturday morning, and we work Monday to Friday, and you want to take that time off, which is super chill. Because you don't have to wake up that early if you don't want to catch the early fights. If you want to catch the main fights, and I would recommend from the last 5 fights on the card, which will usually be from the time of 4 o'clock on Saturday morning. So if you are waking up at that time and you put the kettle on, have a cup of coffee, I would suggest maybe switching on to YouTube and catch the One Fight Night 22 Sundell versus Diachkova. Okay, let me go in and break down some of these fights, starting with the main fight, the title fight, which is Sundell taking on Natalia Diachkova for the strawweight. I'm not saying the name right. I think it's Diachkova or Diachkova. She's fighting Sundell in the strawweight Muay Thai World Championship bout. Let me kick off with speaking about Sundell. I know watching her coming into the Championship on her debut, I was highly impressed. I was impressed from the moment I first saw this woman fight. Tall, very tall, but very aggressive. Not at all lanky, like taller fighters are, but sometimes slower to their moves. Excuse me, Smilla is far from that. She is elusive, high output, consistently going forward, always pressing forward. Got long boxing combinations, got good elbow combinations, which is up close and personal. Loves to throw knees to the body, especially when she gets her opponent backed up to the corner or against the ropes. Sundell loves to throw knees, especially like when she's disengaging from the opponent. So when she's up close, she lands a couple of elbows, uppercuts, and then when she disengages from that position, you'll often find her throwing a number of knees to the body, disengaged, throws a jab, gets back to work again. And literally for her entire career, coming into the One Championship and also being into the One Championship has been nothing short of success. She's defended the title on numerous occasions. She's beat champions in Champion vs. Championship events. Recently, Alicia Rodriguez, who we know is one of the top of the food chains in the women's Muay Thai and kickboxing divisions. So with Sundell Smilla going into this fight, obviously the confidence is on her side. She's been undefeated at the moment. She's been taking names. None of her fights have been boring. She's had 2 close unanimous decisions, but still very good output nonetheless. The TKOs and the knockouts is just fabulous. Again, just the youth is on her side. I mean, she's 19 years old. 19 years old and you're a champion and defending your title more than once. You would argue that she's got a lot on her side, but that could also work at a disadvantage being only 19 years old. Yes, she's got a wealth of experience with being in karate since 5 years old. She's been doing the fight game her entire existence. However, she is coming up against an elite Muay Thai fighter in Natalia Diachkova, and she is balls to the wall, probably going to be the strongest test for Sundell. I think she's going to be the strongest test for her. And I'll tell you why. Natalia matches Sundell in terms of height. Right? She matches her in length. She's older by 10 years. She's got more experience, and she looks to be a little bit more stronger, a little bit more filled out in that frame, which is almost identical to Sundell's. They look very similar. They've got a similar style, but it just appears that Natalia has got more power to her game. You can see by the way her boxing combination, it's like Sundell has to hit you a number of times to get you rocked, and then she gets to put you out a bit later in that fight. Whereas Natalia can put you out in one shot. She can hit you once and you're down. And her boxing combinations is also very similar to Sundell. However, I think Natalia has got a little bit more backer in her punch. Just looking at some of her fights in the past, with Shalina Shereno, Hannah Brady, and Lena Knocker. She's really like put them all down in one hit, and like scary. Like it's actually scary to see how she lands some of her combinations, and to see one of the biggest things she does. When I say she, I mean Natalia. Like one of the biggest things I could highlight Natalia does really well is her teep kicks. Now, oftentimes you'll see her teep kicks come with a lot of venom. Like she really wants to hurt you with it. But what I notice is that a lot of her teep kicks are distance management kind of kicks. Although it's meant to hurt you, she's really trying to hurt you with those teep kicks. She's also sort of like what's the word? She's sizing up her distance. She's realizing if I can get you with the teep and it puts you this far, this is where I have you when I want to land my combinations. And when Natalia gets into the pocket, she gets into the pocket and she sits there and she stays there until she gets you down. And that's, for me, that's where I think she can get this fight to her favor against Sundell. If she's able to survive the onslaught within the first round, meaning if she's able to survive the amount of exchanges that Sundell is going to throw at her. With Sundell, we know Sundell likes to initiate that. That's her thing. She likes to just stay on you all the time for as long as she can until she sees you fading, and then she starts leveling it up a bit more and putting you away that way. If Natalia can survive that, because Natalia I haven't seen her look that good in close range in comparison to that of Smilla Sundell. So close range battle, I think Sundell wins. Long range from on the outside, not necessarily in the pocket, but outside the pocket, just before that void gets closed, I think that's where Natalia gets the advantage. I think that's where she can potentially win the fight. So let's see what happens. It's going to be a close one. I definitely think it's going to be a close one. Very exciting, but I always love watching Smilla Sundell fight. And now I think I'm going to be excited because I think she might meet her match in this one. So let me know what you guys think in that one. And also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you haven't done that yet, please do now and watch us keep talking about amazing martial arts. But let's move on down the list. The co-main event featuring Akbar Abdullaev taking on Khalil Amir in a featherweight MMA bout. Both these guys are undefeated. Both these guys are tearing their opponents apart. They've also shared the cage, or they also shared the ring with the same opponents, right? They haven't fought the same opponents. Sorry, I'm confusing the other fighters. Let's bring it back here. Akbar Abdullaev, scary dude. This is a scary dude fighting out of Moscow, Russia. He's got 8 professional MMA fights that are undefeated. Now, yes, 25 years old, 100% finish rate, only 8 fights. It's very youthful in terms of like how long he's been doing this for. But when I watch these fights, I tell you one thing, he's going to be a champion. He's going to be a champion. I'm telling you now, this dude is a straight up killer. The way he throws his combinations, the way he's able to put you out, he looks for those kill shots. And like these Moscow fighters is coming out of Kazakhstan, they just know how to wrestle. So that's what's making it so frightening to fight against Akbar, is that you will stand with him first, and you think you can have advantage there, and you find out that this dude can fight spinning back kicks, uppercuts, right hooks, left hooks, straights. He does it all, and he does it all with no telegraph on any of his strikes. So it's almost like you don't even see it coming, which means he's also preserving a lot of energy. So that's what really makes this guy dangerous. And then on top of all of that, if you want to take him down, you're probably not going to survive on the ground because he can submit you within seconds. He's that powerful of a fighter. Very high IQ. Now the question comes in: does he meet his match fighting against Khalil Amir? Now Khalil is almost very similar, coming from Turkey, coming out of Turkey, which is very similar foundations to that of the guys from Kazakhstan as well. So he's got, again, the combat sambo wrestling. If you know MMA, you know how Khabib revolutionized that style in the world of MMA. Brought it into that game, and it's almost to this point have not found its match. Like grappling wise, combat sambo guys have not found their match. And if you can sort of like take reference from a fight, that can almost give you perspective for this one. If you followed the UFC and you've looked at Islam Makhachev right now, currently, and when he fought against Arman Sarukian, who's also from Turkey, and you look at how that fight went, I've almost got it in my right mind to announce that this fight's going to be very similar. Khalil Amir taking on Abdullaev is probably going to be very similar to that match that we've watched. If you've watched that fight, if you haven't, I'll put the link in the description where you can go and check out Makhachev and Tsarukian, and you will have an idea of what to expect in this fight. Akbar Abdullaev taking on Khalil Amir. It's going to be a barn burner. I'm telling you now, it's going to be a barn burner. Let's move it down the list to a very good title. It's not a title fight, but it's got that makings to have potential for these two gentlemen. Excuse me. We've got Sinsamut taking on Dimitry Menshikov. Dimitry Menshikov from Russia. Right. So a little bit of background on Sinsamut. He was when I watched him debut, I think it was 2020, if I'm not mistaken, in the one championship, 2019. And watching him, he was like the up-and-coming guy. I always thought he was a bit of a big Thailand guy. I was like, hey, this guy looks massive. A little bit slow, but he's got freakishly intense knockout power. And over the years, taking some losses, especially losses to Regan Ursel, we know, who just lost the title now. We know that Regan Ursel was like the guy, like his nickname is the Immortal. And at the time, no one was able to beat him. And taking back-to-back losses to Regan Ursel, let's definitely give Sinsamut a chance to learn quite a bit of what it's like to be at that level, at the highest level, you know, on championship level. Because I mean, when I watched him fight against Liam Nolan, I thought Liam Nolan was going to beat him, and he didn't lose. He actually beat Liam Nolan really well, knocked him out. So coming to this fight, coming off back-to-back victories, TKO unanimous decision over good fighters, Sinsamut does put himself in a position where he could, if he wins this fight, he could put himself in a position where he could call out #1 contenders, maybe get another title shot again. You know, that's what this fight means. This fight carries that amount of weight. He's still young, 28 years old. Pardon me. Excuse me, I'm going through a lot here. It does put, he still has quite a bit to go. He has a long time to still go there. And I think he might become a champion in his career. There's a chance there. There's a chance. I'm not too convinced, but there's a chance. Dimitry, on the other hand, so he's fought similar opponents to Sinsamut, both of them taking losses to Regan Ursel. Also back-to-back wins, both knockouts. And then his last opponent being Muchin Chafi, who's the same guy that was a lost opponent for Sinsamut. Both of them knocked him out. I know Sinsamut won by unanimous decision, sorry. One thing about Dimitry is that he's got also freakishly intense knockout power, good boxing combinations. Not necessarily the most elusive, doesn't move around. I mean, these are big dudes that are fighting here. You know, in the weight that they're fighting here would make them welterweight to middleweights in the UFC. So they're big. Only 26 years old, so he's got a good career ahead of him. I do think he's got the better boxing combinations than Sinsamut, but I do think Sinsamut has got a little bit more tools. He's got elbows, he's got push kicks, and he does have the ability to dictate the fight. However, I've seen both these fighters like to have the knockout chase. They like to keep, headhunting. So I think this fight might not go all the way in terms of the rounds. I think one guy's probably going to get knocked out within the fight limit, the fight duration. Who do I think is going to win? Not too sure. I would like for Sinsamut to get it. Give himself another chance at another run, just because I think Dimitri's younger, so there's more time for him to get there. But I wouldn't be surprised if Dimitry does get the knockout in this fight. So keep a look at that. That's also going to be a nice, good boxing fight for the guys out there. Even though it's Muay Thai based, I think these guys are going to predominantly use their hands more than kicks. Okay, and then the last fight I want to talk about is a bantamweight kickboxing bout between Hiroki Akimoto, who was the former champion of the bantamweight division, taking on Wei Rui. Now, Wei Rui coming out of China. I think this is his debut fight in the One Championship, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Coming into this fight, he does come off a 20-fight win streak. A 20-fight win streak. That is phenomenal. That means he's been going out there, putting guys down, knocking them out. Obviously, getting some decisions here and there. But for the most time, he has been racking up a lot of KOs. Now, going into this fight, taking on Hiroki Akimoto, who has been the former champion. Watching Akimoto coming into the One Championship and watching his reign as the champion at the time, he displayed for the first time I've seen a fighter coming into the One Championship fighting out of Evolved MMA. And what he brought to the table was something amazing, and that was traditional Kyokushin karate from Japan. And Kyokushin is a very good base for stand-up practitioners in any sort of stand-up fighting form. Yeah, I think if you can learn Kyokushin, like you've got iron in you. Excuse me. Now he has lost his last fight per decision against Pek Tangdong. I think that was a title fight, if I'm not mistaken, and he lost the fight. Unfortunately, prior to that fight, he has been on a 5-fight win streak. And Akimoto has been like I said, he's been revolutionizing the Kyokushin fight style in a predominantly Muay Thai organization, if you will. Yes, one championship has got kickboxing, they've got Muay Thai, they've got the wrestling, they've got the MMA, they've got the grappling competitions. And you haven't necessarily seen fighters come in with Kyokushin, like you want to call it. And Akimoto was the guy who pioneered that style in a land that was filled with a bunch of Muay Thai fighters. Because you can even see the fighters that make up the kickboxing division. A lot of them are still fighting Muay Thai as well, and like jumping between the two divisions, between the two sports or disciplines, if you will. So a lot of the times you have Akimoto taking a lot of Muay Thai guys, and I think that's what he had to sort of fend off all the time. Now, Akimoto is like flawless. I can't speak highly of this dude. Like, he's got fantastic boxing. Although a lot of times I would like to see him throw a bit more straights, a bit more shots to the body in the straight, go up, down, not just head on. And a lot of times Akimoto has a habit of falling into the trap of, because leg kicks doesn't work, which is what he does phenomenally, just lick it. It's what he relies on most of the time. And that's what Kyokushin fighters do. They kick your knees out of you. If that doesn't work, I often find Akimoto resorting to this heavy, wide swinging from the boxing stance, wide boxing stance. He loves to throw it. He loves throwing that. And as you know, a lot of fight enthusiasts will tell you that although it packs a lot of power, it takes longer to do this than to just go straight. So that's where I swing get caught out in the Muay Thai fighters, is that the Muay Thai fighters outboxing because their shots are a little bit sharper and a little bit more straighter, so they land quicker. Might not have the same amount of power, but they land a lot quicker than Akimoto's hooks. So Akimoto will like to throw. He will throw a right hook, left hook to the body, and he will throw a hard low kick. And that's usually his finisher. Like, he loves to throw that kind of combination. It's the combination for Kyokushin fighters. Now, do I think he's going to land a lot in this fight? Possibly. It's hard for me to say because I haven't watched much of. Actually, I haven't seen so much. I haven't seen anything of Wei Rui. I haven't seen him before, so it should be a good fight considering that he's coming in this fight with 20-fight win streak. But that's all I can really go off. That's all I can really go off. So I'm going to tip it towards Akimoto because I've seen him do the things in the One Championship before. Excuse me. And like I said in the beginning of the video, if you're not up to watch the fights from the 2 a.m. mark on Saturday, if you are waking up at 4:30, 5:30, 4 to 5 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, that's this Saturday, that's 4th of May, there's a good chance that you will catch the fights starting from Hiroki Akimoto taking on Wei Rui, which I recommend is going to be the fight to start. Like, that's going to be the one that's going to get your blood pumping in a good way, in a very good way. Just scrolling down the list, there are a couple of fighters. Actually, not a couple, there's quite a bit that's going to be fantastic to watch. But the ones that I want to sort of point out for you to remember the name would be Reese McLaren. He's a good fighter as well. And Thong Poon, he's going to be also a good fighter as well. That's much later in the card, much earlier in the card, sorry. But that's my time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. And also don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay in touch with our latest content. Like I said in the beginning, I will put some links in the description box for you where we can find out where you can watch these fights, and also where you can go and purchase a pay-per-view ticket. Again, like I reiterate, for South Africans, pay-per-view events are not that expensive. You can afford them. These fights, One Championship does actually make their fight cards quite affordable for people. So go out there if you want to catch a look, get a card, get a ticket, and stay tuned for fantastic fights. So on that note, stay safe, stay humble, and look forward to a weekend of fantastic sporting events. Cheers, I'll see you soon.